Aloha friend, we are going to do today's movement snack, strength, and guts and butts all on the floor. So we're not going to have to move very much, and that's quite nice. Movement snack, we've done a little bit with shoulder extension, so we're going to explore that a little bit more. Shoulder extension is anytime our arms travel behind the body. So now my shoulder is extended. Both are extended. And we're going to explore a couple different shoulder blade positions. So where this goes back here is not just independent of where the arm goes. So I can move a couple different positions in my shoulder blade. So before we load up too much tension onto the arms, like this is pretty loose for me, I'm going to protract or push my shoulders forward and down, and then retract or pinch them together and back. Protract, retract, protract, retract. Now, I'm going to probably look straight forward for a little bit, just so I don't have any strains in my neck, because everything is connected. I'm going to walk my hands a little further back. I can look to the side. Nothing's too tight. And I'm going to retract, protract, retract, protract. We'll walk them a little bit further. The motion as I get to here is going to be much smaller, but I can slowly retract a little bit, slowly protract, slowly, not forcing any ranges of motion, even slower, not moving very far, even slower. And what this does, it gives me great awareness of my shoulders in different positions. And now that I'm here, having displayed some control over my shoulder blades while loaded in an extended range of motion, I'm getting a much better stretch than if I just jammed my hands behind me and put all my weight into it. So I've essentially given my body the trust that this is an okay position. GB's got this under control. So now that I'm here, I'm just hanging out in this shoulder extension. I won't say that it's terribly comfortable, but it's not uncomfortable either. Feels pretty darn good. People ask where they're supposed to feel it. If you're tight in your wrists, you're going to feel it in your wrists. If you're tight in your forearms, elbows, biceps, bicep tendon, maybe a little bit more up in the shoulder or the front of the shoulder. So wherever there's tightness in the chain, that's where you're going to get it. When I started doing this, I felt it all in my shoulders. Now I feel it almost all in my biceps and forearms, because those are the tighter links in the chain. Okay, so enough playing. I've got like noodle arms, and this is not going to play well for what our next movement is. Next movement, Planky Armbenders. We could call them push-ups. We could call them whatever we want to. This is our party, and we'll Planky Armbenders if we want to. So when I'm doing these, the thing that stays constant is the plank. There's no dip or deviation in the middle. There's no wiggle in the middle. What I want to focus on is going to a place where I can come down with control and then come up with control. Maybe it's down a little lower and then come up with control. Maybe it's down a little bit lower than that and then come up with control. And we're going to do these planky arm benders, and if in the past you've done them elevated, either on your stool, your bench, maybe yoga blocks, maybe a desk or something like that, today I'm going to suggest you do them in the plank and hold yourself really honest to just lowering as far as you can and coming back up. No one, well, maybe somebody's been awarded a prize for doing push-ups, but no normal people are rewarded gold medals for doing push-ups. So don't think that you need to hold yourself to some world-class standard. We're doing planky arm benders. Doesn't matter. So with the shoulder extension exploration, just spend whatever time we spent getting into it, maybe 90 seconds, 2 minutes. For your planky arm benders, hit, let's do 3 to 6 rounds of 10 reps. That's going to be a considerable amount of work. It's going to be a good challenge, and just don't let form break down. Go as slow as you can. No matter how small the movement is, it's going to pay off more in the long run. And remember, we're putting money in the bank of longevity. We're depositing money into our strength bank, into our tendons, muscles, and ligaments banks, into our health and ability bank. So good for you for investing. It's just like an IRA. It's pretty exciting. Staying in the theme of not leaving the ground with our guts and butts, we're gonna kick it Jane Fonda style with the clamshell. So only coming up as high as you can. Pause for one Mississippi at the top. And you notice I'm not getting my knee super high. My hips have never been crazy flexible, but that's also because I'm not allowing the other leg to kind of open up and get everything further open. So I'm holding myself really strict here so I can get the movement just to be back here. So you'll do 10 of those and then point your toe down to the ground and then do 10 lifts. So we did 10 clams, 10 leg lifts, and then on your hollow, we're gonna take it to the boat. And you would do that on both sides. We're just gonna go back, get into a boat pose where you can balance. Now, if my legs were higher, it's a little easier for me to shift my weight that way. If my legs are lower, I have to tip further back. And the idea is you're just finding a balance point somewhere on your tail. And if you want to, you can also do bent leg boat, which is really awesome. You can do bent arms. Just find a pivot point where your ribs are tucked down, head is neutral, we're not doing any weird stuff with our necks, and you've just got your really good balance point. Where your arms are will make a big difference, and where your legs are will make a big difference. And as I'm talking, I have to fight to stay balanced. That's much longer than a 10 count. So for that part, do 2 to 10 rounds of 10 clams, 10 leg lifts, and about a 10 count. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. About a 10 count in the boat. Is that boat pose? I think it is. With yoga, I hear things. Sometimes I make stuff up. But I believe that's called boat pose. All right. Thank you, friends.